Saint Teresa of Avila was born in Avila, Spain on 28th March 1515. Her parents were both devout Catholics and influenced Teresa to take up a life of prayer. Teresa in her childhood would show signs of a deeply religious nature, as she would often retreat into silence for prayer and give alms to the poor. She was very close to her mother. However, in her teens, her mother had passed away. This left Teresa distressed at the void she had to face. However, in her distress, she would instinctively turn to the Virgin Mary for comfort. During Teresa's late teens, she had lost some of her early piety and religious zeal. She became interested in worldly things and enjoyed the company of a large group of friends. She had a natural charm, and this made it easier for her to gain friends. Despite all this, she was not at peace. She considered herself to be a miserable sinner. This harsh self-judgment was thought to have been encouraged by her father's exacting religious standards. At the age of 16, her father decided to send her to a convent school to be educated. This reinstalled in Teresa an interest in following a spiritual life, and after a long and careful consideration, she decided to become a nun of the Carmelite order. During her life in the convent, she found it hard to find time for quiet reflection, although she had started teaching people on the virtues of mental prayer. Shortly after becoming a nun, Teresa developed malaria, which left her in great pain for a long period of time. At one point, it was feared that her illness was so severe that she would not be able to recover. It was during this period of intense pain that Teresa began to experience divine visions and an inner sense of peace. These inner experiences of joy and peace seemed to transcend the intense physical pain she was experiencing. As Teresa started to get better, she resumed her prayers with renewed vigor. However, after telling others of her visions and spiritual experiences, she was dissuaded from pursuing them. Some clergy thought that they were delusions of the devil. Because of this, for many years, she lost the confidence to practice her prayers, and her spiritual life was almost put on hold. When Teresa was 41, she met a priest who encouraged her to go back to her prayers and to implore God to come back. She initially had difficulty sitting through prayers. However, as time went on, she became absorbed in deep contemplation in which she felt an ever-growing sense of oneness with God. The experiences were so transforming that she would often feel the grace of God wash her soul away. She was so filled with divine contemplation that it was said that her body would spontaneously levitate. At the age of 43, Teresa had a desire to establish a new order which recommitted to the values of poverty and simplicity. She wanted to move away from her current convent, which was standing in the way of her prayer life. At first, she faced widespread opposition from within the town of Avila, but with the support of some priests, the opposition had decreased and she was allowed to establish her first convent. Teresa proved to be an influential leader and founder. She led the nuns not through strict disciplines but through the power of love and common sense. Despite herself going through many tribulations, to others she always stressed the importance of experiencing God's love. Teresa spent much of the rest of her life traveling around Spain, setting up new convents. Although she was not always greeted with enthusiasm, many did not like her reforms. She faced criticism, including from Papal Nuncio, who used a rather descriptive phrase, a relentless, disobedient gadabout who has gone about teaching as though she were a professor. Teresa also had to struggle with harsh living conditions and her frail health. She did not allow these obstacles to stop her from fulfilling her goals. Teresa died at the age of 67. She was canonized on the 12th of March 1622 in Rome by Pope Gregory XV. Her feast day is celebrated on the 15th of October. She is the patron saint of headache sufferers. Her symbol is a heart, an arrow, and a book. One of the most popular poems that Teresa wrote is called God Alone is Enough. It goes like this: let nothing upset you, let nothing startle you. All things pass, God does not change. Patience wins all it seeks. Whoever has God lacks nothing. God alone is enough.